Underway of game number one. Let's hop into it on high view as we get into this series between B and DauT. I guess the first thing we're going to be looking at is kind of the generation, right? Kind of thinking, is there any edge here? Because I have noticed that sometimes high view can be a little bit tricky, especially for those gold vein placements.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's looking pretty, say okay. B did not, get that perfect spot where they have gold next to wood. But his stone is a bit far away, and that's something to worry about, especially against the English player. If English player gets the longbows there and B does not do a tower, he might actually just stop his production completely. So that's something he really needs to be careful about. And this is one of those things that when you enter a game, you try to identify as you play. Like if you're being aggressive with whatever civ, you kind of say like, okay, this is going to be my attack point. I'm going to try to deny this. And you kind of need to identify those things in order to, be able to put the most pressure possible.
That's true. Like the highest level players, I think they've learned, especially it's even more true of Mongols due to the nature of the Uvus. Like depending on your generation, you might be stripped of that early like tempo aggression you're looking to set. You might have to go for something a little bit more greedy. I think a player that definitely comes to mind that has a very different opening that's become more sporadic and popular at the moment is the Mister. Usually when he plays Mongols, he go for the pasture opening straight away with the Uvu. But I guess that's dependent on if you have a close by Uvu, whereas if it's far off, that option of being economically greedy might not be as desirable as just kind of going full pressure early on.
Yeah, so one interesting thing, B is mining a lot of wood. And he mined 120 extra. I'm not sure if he wanted to do something or he wanted to do pasture but then changed his mind. Maybe he wanted to do pasture, but he found a bunch of sheep, so he decided against it. But yeah, this is one of those things where, having 120 extra wood, that could have been 120 extra food. So I'm kind of curious what that was about. On the other side, we also have an interesting opener from DauT. I think he will be doing a fast wheelbarrow. So this is something that I've heard people do, but I've never tried it myself, and I don't know how good it is. So if you see what DauT is doing with English, you usually want to rush, feudal and go longbows. So what he did is he started farming wood instantly and a lot of gold. He had 4 on gold, and now he built a mill. So he's gonna go for super fast wheelbarrow. And obviously these economic upgrades, the earlier you get them, the more impact they will have. Like I said, I've never tried it myself, and I'm kind of curious how it turns out
Yeah, because I think like
in the end.
the kind of standard opinion on it is like midway through feudal is when you should be targeting wheelbarrow. It's interesting to think how this has like developed because when the game first came out, everyone avoided this research. They said it was terrible and wouldn't be worth it at all. And then a month and a half later, oh, everyone wants to get it at some point. Month and a half later, everyone's getting it midway feudal, and apparently now, month and a half later, all of a sudden we're just finding people rushing it instantly at the beginning of the game. Definitely a big twist, and it's kind of interesting that England's doing that because it does slow down your feudal timing a little bit, which can be quite crippling for England sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think about this. Which civs would this be good on? I mean, obviously Delhi gets it for free, so it's good to do it ASAP. The thing is, English gathers a lot of wood, right? So your wood lumber camp is never super optimal, so there's a lot of running back and forth. So in that sense, it does make a lot of sense to get wheelbarrow. I don't know about this fast, but again, if you are going to get an eco upgrade, getting it as early as possible, you gain the most value. But not only that, with English, you transition to farm super fast. And, there's a lot of running with villagers back and forth with the farms. So wheelbarrow will also help there quite a bit. And wheelbarrow is least efficient on gold and stone, which English don't really go for, especially early on, right? They want to put that pressure. So this might be quite good for DauT, but like you said, it does delay feudal. So I kind of wonder if by delaying the feudal, you miss that initial pressure timing and you give maybe Mongols too much time to build up the horsemen.
Yeah, which is definitely going to happen. B is going to beat him up into the feudal, is already prepping the stable as well. I guess one kind of interesting thing to think about is maybe B's going to feel pressured to be quite aggressive early on, because one thing that you can kind of highlight about this matchup on high view is with limited gold veins nearby, it feels like civs such as England benefit a lot from this generation, this layout, right? Because they don't need gold, and it feels like, especially where they generate around your base on high view, it can almost become your kryptonite when you're playing as a greedy civ that likes to tap gold hard, such as the Mongols.
Yeah, so one interesting thing, DauT already with 2 farms.
Huh.
So again, this is, he doesn't have sheep. So this is one of those things where I'm not sure if he's getting farms because he's running out of sheep, or because this is like a wheelbarrow into fast farms build. Because farms are extremely efficient when you're playing English, because they do have that bonus, and they are cheaper. So it's really cool to see. Like I said, you know, something unique, something I expected from these guys, and DauT already coming with a unique approach to it.
Yeah, most definitely. It feels like he kind of set himself up to kind of have to take this route as well, because I believe he only had 1 scout, right? So he didn't build a 2nd scout like so many players do. And I believe B did, which meant that he was able to actually grab so many more of the sheep. But as you say, because farms are so cheap for England, one of the beautiful things, I think it's like you only need maybe 1 or 2 sheep before you can actually kind of comfortably transition into farms straight away.
Yeah, English doesn't need like almost any sheep. I personally like getting a 2nd scout just to deny opponent food. But if you are going for this early farms, maybe it is better to just, you know, go with 1 scout and just get that wheelbarrow fast. I guess we'll see. And DauT seems to be playing pretty defensive. I'm not sure if he plans to go castle. I'm not sure what exactly he's going for. But B is trying to put on aggression straight away.
Okay, this is a good move from DauT, though. He's prepping the outpost. He understands he's going to be on the defensive. The timing's going to be perfect because you can see B is shifting his own villager to the front to try and get an outpost down outside his opponent's base and set up that YAM network. So longbows are going to be ambushed, and horsemen should be able to ride in and stab out a few of these before the outpost is even going to be complete. While they will turn around to fire a little bit back, you got to keep in mind these horsemen with 2 range resistance against the longbows. It's not a good trade for them to have, even underneath the outpost. Continues in. It's like he might back off, though. I mean, I feel like once you get down to maybe 2 horsemen, it's just negligible returns at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, DauT actually traded better. I feel like he lost 1 longbow and killed 2 horsemen, so that's pretty good for him. And B is being super, super aggressive on the gold, just trying to deny it from DauT.
Yeah, and he's going in again. The outpost with 5 people garrison the side is definitely adding a lot of damage into this fight. The scout's going to fall. Multiple longbows going down as well. And this time, with this many horsemen, DauT is going to feel the pain. B will pursue underneath the TC, and that is when it backfires quickly as he loses 2 more horsemen.
Yeah, I would say this is working out for DauT quite well, because DauT, you know, he's not losing much. He lost again like 3 longbows. He lost scout, which is not good because he only had 1. But B lost a couple of horsemen, and he seems to be just wanting to put more and more aggression. But as this longbow counts builds up, the problem versus English is every time you go in, if you decide to go back, you're going to lose 2-3 units on the way back, right? So
Yeah.
you have to be sure you're going to win the fight, and DauT is overextending once again.
It almost feels like it's just teasing B to go in, and he will this time around. Longbow's backing up once more, and once they reach the TC, that should be where B backs off. But what he has done is secured that outpost, and now he has YAM on the front. This should be where DauT gets a little bit more defensive, because next time he does this, with that YAM now in effect, he will definitely lose a lot more longbowmen.
Yeah, and B actually has 2 workers at the front, and is now going to tower rush the wood line, I would assume, in the back. And I'm not... Yeah, DauT doesn't see this, so he's just barely out of range from the workers. And if the tower goes up, that's going to be really bad for DauT, because he does not have siege engineering. And if the wood line gets denied for English, that is quite bad, because they obviously need a lot to produce longbows.
The good news is DauT is at least prepping the rack, so he can get some sort of melee composition going. But as you said, the problem is once the outpost is done, it's the distraction. It's kind of that pull feeling. When you're playing with these slow-moving longbowmen, you're going to be Benny Hillsing from the south to the north side of your base 24/7.
Yep, there's the tower, and he does not know about it. So this is going to be quite a successful tower rush, I would say. Even though it's very, very delayed. You know, like you said, they both delivered on the tower area. We already see 3 towers up and probably more.
And also, it's delayed for good reason. Look at B's eco. He hasn't continued to invest in this feudal aggression. He's prepping for a castle up, and DauT is nowhere near ready.
Yeah, so DauT has 9 on gold, but only 7 on food. He's got a bunch on wood, though. And I would assume he's going to transition to a lot of farms soon, so he can actually get castle as well. Oh, the Khan goes down. That was pretty unfortunate for him, because now he'll be losing a lot of vision.
Yep, Archers just pewing onto a few of these villagers. Two of them are going to fall. Second outpost trying to go down, but the Spearman is here. Will be scared away, but the important part is that outpost should be denied. With the Lombos nearby, there's no way B can continue to aggress, but he doesn't really need to. He's got that foothold, and more importantly, he's almost got what he needs for a tech up. He's just waiting on the gold, and then he'll be ready to cruise into castle, and DauT still nowhere near ready.
Yeah, so arrow slit's complete, and this is the thing, right? Versus almost any civ, having the arrow slits is amazing, but longbows can pick off scouts super easily. So while he killed a villager or two, it's going to be very hard to actually gain vision versus English, because longbows can just snipe things so easily. Another tower going up, and DauT just decides to abandon and go to the stealth forest instead.
Understandable. And the other annoying detail here on the Mongols, right, is the fact that, and it's important why they got the Khan, is you have that Falcon, you have that scouting ability over tree lines. So it's even more pesky if the Khan's still in the equation, which is why it was such an important detail that DauT was able to remove that. But more important details underway is B already halfway through with the tech up, invest 16 villages in going up into castle. And DauT, while he begins to extend outwards now, there's hefty risks associated with this. When your opponent gets into Lancers and you're spread thin with your economy like this, you're going to exploit it to the maximum.
Yep, and like you said, I mean, this is really good for Mongols right now. Like, English is, in my opinion, meant to be played very aggressive, and if you try to play passive, English just doesn't have any bonuses to go along with it. You know, like if you play Abbasid or Chinese, you know, they have Imperial Officer, they have workers that are cheaper, but English don't really have anything going for them except farms, and we see the results of it, right? DauT is in feudal, very much in feudal, no food anywhere, like you said, to go castle, and we will be seeing, I'm assuming, men-at-arms and lancers from B the moment he has some gold going.
Yep, looks like he's prepping them now. Meanwhile, on the other side, DauT, you know, all he's got to defend himself is the longbow spear still. Even invest in a marketplace. He understands he needs to get up quick. He's got surplus gold, but he's lacking in the other departments. And that is not a good feeling what we just saw there. When you have to, as England, with double farm set up, sell your gold to get food. Not really the way that usually gets done.
Yeah, I mean, if DauT had like a second TC, and this is the situation, you know, it's still, in a way, it's not great, but it's not that bad, right? But he is on 1 TC, and because B got the step landmark, he actually just gained, you know, 5 to 7 workers on gold, because the landmark gives that extra gold once they deliver. So we'll see what DauT decides to go from here.
Well, DauT decides to run away from his wood line because they were sniping in the back while we were talking, and the villager count begins to go down. And look at the inch, just select these villagers and see how many of them are close to death right now. And it almost feels like with DauT under this much pressure, it's kind of surprising he didn't at least try to sidestep into textiles, because it almost feels like you would have got your bang for buck at this point. Oh, no. Oh, DauT. No. 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 No, DauT. Not like this. This is not looking good right now. He really is being pinned in. At least the Lombos can come across to create that space and will force B away. But this really is space for B. You can see the man-at-arms starting to shift across the map. He's going to look to zerg them up to maybe like 8 before he goes in. And at that stage, DauT still has no answer to this.
Yeah, I mean, the towers on the north are just creeping closer and closer, and soon he's going to be towering his farms, and that's not a, you know, that's not a good position to be in, and yeah, I mean, men-at-arms coming, there is no counter. He is going for the white tower in the front, but the thing is, that will keep him in the game for a little bit, but without the economic landmark, he will fall further and further behind against the Mongols.
And more importantly, the thing you already highlighted, right? The outposts are creeping round the north. You've protected your south side, but as we can see, B has created a nice little pathway into the back of your economy, and that's just going to make the white tower feel irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, putting the white tower is not so much as, oh, the opponent, you know, have extra defense. It just means that the opponent won't fight you there. So
Yeah.
B should just honestly just go into the farms, and that's it. Just avoid the white tower, and he will be more than fine.
That is tech up complete. One of the good things out of DauT doing this, it does mean he saves 300 wood on building a siege workshop, right? So the one answer he could clearly go for to this man-at-arms Zerg is going to be those mangonels. And as it stands, I don't think, did B even get the siege engineering? No, he hasn't got it yet, so he wouldn't be able to counter-attack against mangonels from England.
Yeah, it doesn't have it yet. The problem is you need wood for mangonels, and chopping stealth forest guys is not the best thing you can do if you want. Now, you know, the thing is, this lumber camp is about to start burning, so he's going to start getting gold from raiding.
That's true.
From tower scaling buildings. So that's pretty funny.
Hey, man. Like, you asked if it was worth getting wheelbarrows early on, and considering the amount of straggler trees that DauT is chopping down, I think we really did just get our answer.
Right. Let's say it this way. He is getting the value out of wheelbarrow, but was it good in the end? I'm not sure, you know? Not sure. Not completely sold out on it, because it does delay your feudal by quite a lot.
Yeah, and it felt like once you delayed a feudal like that against Mongols, you had no choice but to turtle up, and you really are suffering. He's now trying to prep these man-at-arms that do need to still be upgraded, which is underway as we speak. But the man-at-arms from B already moving in ahead of this, and they have the movement speed advantage. They can easily chase down these Lombos, and these Lombos have no way bracking away. And instead, it's going to be a sloth. 4 of them go for the villager line. The rest clean up the Lombos. And, well, DauT is running out of room quickly in this game. Spearman will not hold the man-at-arms back for long or force the garrison out, which means now DauT is not gathering wood anymore. And this monastery play almost just feels greedy. He was never getting out of his base, and he's never getting wood anymore, and he just invested a huge chunk of that, and he's getting nothing for it.
Yeah, the funny part is that if the monastery finished, where would you try to take the relic? There is towers everywhere.
There's like maybe
there's one on the left.
Yeah,
maybe, but I mean, there's going to be a tower there soon as well, and this... Yeah, this is just a very, very slow death. He does have man-at-arms on his own, but in this situation as Mongols, you can actually just ignore the army and right-click on the workers and just keep rallying. And you don't need to do much more. You don't have to win the fight, because there's nothing to kill these men-at-arms super fast and super efficiently.
And you can just see how confident B is as well, right? In a lot of these kind of situations, the Mongol player will pull back to get movement speed again. He didn't even care. He's like, these are just good trades. As you said, all he has to do is just keep DauT off of his eco lines, and he's going to continue to cruise. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of switch up soon, and there it is. B building the mangonels in the stealth forest, and DauT doesn't know it yet, but he should get that tingling feeling that rocks are about to fall from the sky.
Yeah, he doesn't know, but he's about to. Those men-at-arms...
Oh, no! And now they're running out. Okay, looks like B's not going to take the second shot, even though it was offered up to him. But damage done that cannot be healed, unless that was the play with the monastery all along. Maybe he just wanted to use the monk. Not sure if that's a bang for buck exchange, though.
Yeah, that relic is getting tower ref, by the way. So he will not even pick up that. That is just sound for the relic and for the monastery.
Did you ever play Stronghold?
Yeah, I did, of course.
So, you know the saying, the keep is enclosed. I think this is the definition for the Mongols right now.
Yeah, there's no leaving this one. Oh, God, and he just burns all the farms.
Oh, my God. The power of the mangonels compels him. Sprion's here as well, and DauT, he hasn't even begun to get his anti-siege army going. He has no easy way of even reaching these mangonels. And it feels like DauT might be on his last legs here. Mangonel shots in, doesn't even react with the man-at-arms in time. Old man speed means he's going to take heavy damage onto his front line. And it feels like wherever these mangonels go, DauT cannot. And he's not even reacting anymore. It almost feels like he's kind of subtly given up in his mind at this stage.
He's trying to stop the tower rush from the west. There's a tower in his wood.
Oh my God.
I mean, at this point, that's a lot of towers. If you look at the minimap, there's just towers everywhere.
Yeah,
all the farms go down, and he has no workers left, but he never gives up.
I mean, stubbornness or belief in something hard in yourself. In fairness, he did build a monastery, so maybe he believes in God and thus believes a miracle is going to arrive and save him. He's going to need it at this rate. They're sieging through the monastery.
Yeah.
Lombos are forced away, and I just don't see the play anymore. I mean, it just feels like he's running around in circles, even with the Leroy charge with the villagers, but the Mangonels are already staring at him. And with his villager count decimated, why does DauT hate English people so much? That might more or less decide it. They've just been butchered. They're coming around the other side. GG is going to get called. And no surprise at the way this is going, B will open up the series with a win.
Wow. That was very one-sided.
Just a little bit.
I will say that. You know, the thing is, playing these best of 7 matches, show matches, it's hard to know every player's main civ and what they like to play and what they're good with. I'm not sure how much English DauT plays, because this to me seems like this is either something he's experimenting